Okay, let me just start over. I was doing a video and I was getting deep, and then my phone just cut off. It restarted. So anyway, I was speaking about the elites and how the elites have eyes on everyone. The elites sent people in to watch those that are at the bottom. The elites already knew that people weren't going to pass this test. The elites knew that after I became an adult, that if you couldn't take her out then when she was a child and as an adolescent and as a teenager, you weren't going to ever take her out. See, it was a lot of contracts signed. It was a lot of paperwork signed. But they had to complete those years so that those contracts could be annulled and void. A lot of people are under the impression that they were going to win. Now they're seeing those same people that they were joined together hand in hand, matrimony and matrimony. They're seeing those people in a different perspective. They're seeing those people in a way that they never thought they would see the people. People are not only shunning those that were included in the contracts, but they're shunning them in a way of mockery, in a way of disgust, in a way of distastefulness, in a way of really, in a way of conflict. Not even no confusion, because people knew that a lot of people did a lot of talking and no actions. A lot of people were putting in bets, but the elites were also putting in bets. They were betting on me as a horse. The elites were betting on me as a symbol of a goat. They were betting on me as a symbol of a lamb. They knew that whether I ascended then or whether I ascended now, and they know I'm fully aligned. They know that I'm able to manifest through my soul, which is a connection, a generator to the universe, the cosmos. See, that's what the elites didn't tell these people. See, while people were using cauldrons and doing all this spell work and using the Book of the Dead and the Book of Shadows and all these things to summon and try to connect with different entities and deities. The elites knew I didn't have to do any of that. See, the elites know that my source of power, my source of energy comes from the sun, the stars, the moon. It's automatic. So they knew that once I came into my North Node and I actually walked away from these people, because that's what the elites were waiting for me to do. See, they didn't tell these people at the bottom, these bottom feeders. They didn't tell these people that they were rooting for me. They couldn't wait till I walked away. They didn't tell these people that while all these people were doing what they were doing, they had people on the inside watching them, taking notes, taking things down so that they can have a reason to get rid of these people. They didn't tell people that once they signed those contracts, it was a done deal. They have all ties are cut. They didn't tell those people that everything that they done towards me will be returned to them. They didn't tell those people that they knew they couldn't beat me. A lot of these elites, they were happy that these people took this risk because they were trying to weed out the people in their organization. See, they knew they had a lot of snakes in the grass. They had a lot of snakes and people around them who were siphoning from them. And a lot of people thought the organizations and elites were clueless. They thought the elites were Blue's Clues. Unknowingly, not realizing that those people they call friends and they thought they had a history with in the past with and who they work with, those were actually undercover operations. You know, people who actually have eyes on them. Because they knew that even in the midst of all this, they knew they couldn't take me out when I was a child. They couldn't take me out when I was a young adult. So they knew they couldn't take me out now. The elites, like I said, were waiting for me to walk away so that they can shut down the whole operations. You know, they knew that all this resources that they were given, it wasn't going to work. People should have realized that, you know how in the Bible, the wise men were looking at the star in the east. My star was in Mars. And the elites didn't tell people that. They didn't tell anyone that. See, before I was born, the elites, the upper echelon, upperclassmen, were actually watching my stars. You know, a lot of people actually read about my star and knew that my star will come to pass. They knew I was coming to this realm. So a lot of the elites made sure that they reincarnated in one of their, like I said, nieces, nephews, through another source that could hold their aura. Because they wanted to be here and make sure that everything was actually connected and done the right way. But upon that, they seen that not only was things done wrong, it was done in a way that it would tear their whole bloodline and their lineage apart. That's why the CIA and the government don't want people to know about Antarctica and to know about those different resources out. They don't want people to understand the connections in astrology, the astronomers. They don't want people to understand the NSA or NASA or just... They don't want people to understand that all these countries were watching the star. All these countries were watching what was in the sky. They knew someone great was coming back. They knew I was coming back. They just didn't know who I would reincarnate from or into. See, a lot of them thought... See, they knew the prophecy was a chosen one. Somebody great would come back. See, they were expecting a boy. They were expecting me to be a boy. But instead, I came back as a woman, as a baby girl. Let's just say that. You know, and a lot of people need to realize that Jesus was birthed into this world. You know, the chosen ones were birthed into this world. They come from the different connections in the universe. You know, but like I said, it's all connected. It's all interconnected. You know, it's all multi-dimensions, all warped into one. You know, our souls is what births new lives, new beginnings. You know, our soul is what determines whether or not we are going to be able to reincarnate or whatnot. See, a lot of people didn't want me to ascend spiritually to the North Nodes. See, everybody looked at Jesus' ascension as he went up to heaven. No, Jesus ascended in a way as aligning with all the teachers, aligning all his chakras. They said when he was on the cross, he said, "It is finished." When he said it was finished, it was a way to let the world know that he did what he had to do. It was his time to go in a different direction. A lot of people are confused to when Jesus gonna come back, when God gonna come, not realizing that the 144,000, the chosen ones, we are cut from the cloth of God's. Coming from different bloodlines, different lineages, whether light and dark or in both. A lot of people, like I said, gambled thinking that they could take my powers, my gifts. But the thing is, you got to understand, my soul is a generator. My soul is connected to my home, which is Mars. I was actually, like I said, it's like funneled, birthed through Mars as a portal. And a lot of people didn't know what side of my birth chart was on. But the truth be told, I don't even have actually a birthday. If you look at it, my actual birthday is 00000000. Because they really couldn't pinpoint my gifts. They knew that I was going to be powerful, but they thought that I would need to be initiated into a coven or into a group. But the thing is, I needed no initiations. I didn't need to kneel before anyone. I didn't need to cut my finger and draw blood just to sacrifice something. I didn't need to use a cauldron. I didn't need to use things that people use to sacrifice things, whether it's humans, whether it's animals, whether it's plants, whether it's herbs. I didn't need any of that. Now people are realizing that all I needed was my soul. All I needed was to stay on the right path, the right direction. All I needed was to separate myself from the masses. All I needed was to continue to be in hermit mode. All I needed was to accept the fact that I let God know that it was finished. And I was able to take my power back. See, when people look at the resurrection, that's a whole rebirth, being reborn again, being able to come back to life, not only in a physical form, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, being balanced, Jesus took all his power back. See all that taunting and laughing and people's rageful attitudes and denying Christ what he was here for, being negligent towards the destiny, the trials and tribulations. People felt as though they could just go ahead and sacrifice God. A lot of people were looking for the Son of God to come back. But people got to understand that it's not only the SON, it's the SUN. See, people looked at it like, okay, God's going to come in the form of a man. Not realizing that God came in the form of animals, in the form of plants, in the form of food. God came in all the forms of the elements. And people ignore that. People ignore that without earth there is no life down here for the mortals. People ignore the fact that if we got rid of air, nobody down here could breathe. People ignore the fact that if we got rid of fire, people would be cold. If we got rid of water, there is no surviving. You get rid of spirit, you just gone. And people didn't take that serious, so thank you.